What is the life cycle of a star? A star goes through many stages throughout its life. Each stage takes many years to move on to the next stage. Some stars never get through a stage, and others go on to different routes. This presentation will show you the basic stages of a star's life. This is in the stage of a protostar, which is also known as the main sequence stage. Matter in a big cloud will begin to squeeze together and will begin to produce some heat. As it becomes larger, a certain mass is met, and this causes a nuclear fusion to occur. In this stage, the star is not very bright, and the temperature seems to not jump around too much either. There are some stars that are smaller than others. If it is a massive star, it can have a mass 3 times that of the Sun, if not more. The mass of the star can play an important part in its life because that helps to not only determine how long it will be in this stage for, but also how long it will last in its lifetime. A smaller star will be in this stage longer than a larger star because it won't burn its fuel as fast. In the next stage, the star becomes a red giant star. The star gets the name red giant in this stage because it usually has an orange or red look to it. How does it become this color? Well, as you can see in the picture on this inside of the star, the reactions that are happening with the carbon, oxygen, and helium are creating the temperature to rise. While on the outer layer of the star, it begins to cool and stretch, giving it the color it has, the orange or the red. An interesting fact about a red giant star is it actually becomes 100 times larger than its beginning size when it is in this stage. When a star begins to have nothing left, it becomes a white dwarf star. When the star begins to burn out the rest of its fuel and recognizes it, parts of the star begin to scatter off into space. Since the star is beginning to run out of fuel, a nuclear fusion no longer occurs. How does a star still glow when this happens? There is still some heat left in the star, so even though the nuclear fusion does not occur, the heat allows it to still have its brightness and glow. The image above helps to give you an idea about how large a star is in this stage in its life. It is larger than the Earth. As I mentioned in the beginning, sometimes stars do not make it through a stage in its life. When a star doesn't make it through the first stage, the main sequence, it is then a brown dwarf star. A brown dwarf is actually not labeled as a star or a planet because it's too big to be a planet, but it's small enough to not be considered a star. It is just a ball of gas that happens to be stuck in the middle. A brown dwarf star doesn't shed off any heat or light because it never made it past the main sequence stage. The next stage is the variable star stage. This is typically the last stage of a star. In this stage, the one thing that happens is the brightness changes. This can happen at the beginning of a star's life and at the end of a star's life. There are more to stars than meets the eye. With the technology we have today, scientists are able to capture images of stars a lot more closely. We are able to learn a lot more about the stages of a star's life. We not only learn about the different placements of the stars in the sky, but we are even able to learn the different pathways they can take, such as becoming a supernova or even a black hole. But that is a different story.